Aloha kakahiaka, good morning to you and welcome back to the Billabong Pipe Masters in loving memory of Andy Irons as we welcome you to a beautiful morning and to Dawn Patrol as we think about what's going to be happening on the show today. We're going to dive into the social media and see what all the world's best have been up to on the 7 Mile Miracle, and we're also going to look at round 3 to focus on the spoilers that really could upset this world title race. Then we'll catch up with the form of Owen Wright on an incredible year. Unfortunately, as you guys probably heard, he had to withdraw from the contest, and we still want to celebrate the amazing year for world number 5. Joe Chappelle alongside one of the most successful surfers of all time. Morning, Potts.
Morning, mate.
Strider, favorite wave in the world right here. Multiple cover shots. Is there one wave that you'll never forget out here?
Legend.
The cover shot for sure. You know, you're going to always remember one of those prized memories of, you know, it was actually a childhood dream and it all came true right here at Pipeline.
Well, thinking about social media, you guys have different takes on it. Potts doesn't take as many photos as Strider, but it's really fun to kind of follow the stories of people going on behind the scenes. Let's bring up who is J.O.B. having a blast on the opening day. It wasn't just the opening day of Pipe in loving memory of Andy, but Andy's son Axel has a birthday on that day. How special, Potts?
Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable, isn't it? It's and you know what, every day you see little Axel growing up into, he's going to be an amazing little surfer. He's already in the water ripping, so I think he's got his dad's genes for sure.
It was so cool to see J.O.B. Jamie O'Brien actually got out the winch, got out the boogie boards, made the huge slide down into the water where you could jump into this big pool of water. I mean, it was so cool. You know, Jamie does that with just his friends, and, you know, what a perfect thing for them to do.
Yeah.
He's got so many great uncles on the beach looking after Axel, as you see Josh Kerr hanging out with his wife, Nikki Kerr. He's a family man, brings everybody on tour, and he knows how special this place is. Kerr's the former runner-up at this event, still flying through the rounds. And I love when the Australians like Bede start enjoying the American sports spots.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's it. You know, these guys are all athletes. They love watching no matter what it is at a high level. Basketball, football. I love watching football. Go the New York Giants.
Oh, there we go. Maddie Wilkinson punting over Kai Otten, making Kai look back. Unfortunately, we'll go out of the event, but as you know, Stratter's always having a blast.
That's right. How good are the lives that these guys, and we all get to live. It's just unbelievable. You look at the social media feeds of everybody out here on tour and in this world. It doesn't get any better.
Yep.
One key follow at WSL, and you get all the updates and the insights on the world's best on Instagram. But now it's the moment we've been waiting for. Let's see if we will get underway. Let's say a big good morning to Rosie Hodge and our commissioner, Kieran Perro.
Thanks so much. Well, Kieran, obviously the swell has died a little bit today. We didn't see action get underway yesterday. Will we see anything hit the water today?
Yeah, it's kind of stayed in that similar zone. That old swell still fading. A little bit of a pulse that might build through today, but it's really not going to offer much. So we're going to be off for the day again. Come back tomorrow morning and reassess. Still looking good for Tuesday, building into Wednesday, and some leftovers Thursday if we need them.
And obviously those round 3 matchups are so intense with a lot of implications and a lot of world title contenders and requalification on the line. You know, we want to get the best swell. When do you think that'll come through for us?
We're looking at Wednesday being the best out of it. So we're hoping that Tuesday offers enough to be able to get going, and then we get down to a final day for Wednesday. If that doesn't happen on Tuesday, then we've still got enough on Thursday that we should be able to finish. But Wednesday right now looks at the pick of it.
All right, well, swell on tap. I can't wait to see those round 3 matchups and how they unfold. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Rosie and Kieran Perot. Kieran, our commissioner, former Pipe Master, making that solid decision. And great to know that we have something to really look forward to in a couple of days from now, Potts.
You know, it's been a really difficult year for surf, so to finish off with a bang, you know, 5 guys in that world title race, I can't wait.
Really cool as we look at the Surfline forecast to look at the next couple of days. We have a couple of promising signs coming on Wednesday. Stratter, I know you're a guy that kind of used to wake up and look at the waves, but you're kind of diving into these maps a lot.
Oh, all the time. It's just constant. Even if I'm back home, I'm looking at the maps for Pipeline. The reality is that, you know, we're going to have a little slow in the swell. We've got a little easterly trade there. The winds, the conditions are looking really nice. You can see that big low up there. It's going to push down some swell. We're going to see the rise. And for the, you know, the couple of days, we're going to see it small, then build in through Tuesday and Wednesday. And we should see some really great waves out here. Hopefully conditions stay nice. I mean, you can kind of switch into variable mode, which can be scary for winds, but hopefully we get that east-southeast perfection and we can all watch the best show on earth once again.
That's right, that wind factor. I saw Kevin Wallace from Surfline this morning. He said it's looking east, which would be favorable. And he said those longer intervals in a northwest swell can actually make it look like there's more west than there's actually in the swell. So it looks like it could be an amazing day in a couple of days from now, which is setting up a lot of drama for these round 3 matchups in the world title race. We'll dive into the spoiler story coming up next here on Dawn Patrol. Good morning and welcome back to Dawn Patrol here at the Billabong Pipe Masters in memory of Andy Irons. If you're just joining us, our commissioner, Kieran Perro, has called it a lay day. The surf looks kind of fun for the average Joe. Hey, who said no? It looks fun for anybody out there.
Man. Yep.
Really
Especially
rippable,
for Joe.
especially for Joe.
Yeah.
But thinking about what we're hoping for, bigger waves coming in a couple of days. The spoiler talk is huge in the
Yep.
world title race. For example, going back to the Target Maui Pro, we saw Coco Ho take out Courtney Conlock. She was the heavy spoiler there. Thinking about this one, round 3 heat number 1, we'll open up with Gabriel Medina and Jordy Smith. Jordy is going to be that spoiler pot.
Well, he's going to try and play spoiler for sure, Joe. I mean, I spoke to him yesterday after his heat. He said he's back. He's almost at 100%, surfing well. Just stoked to have that jersey back on and looking pretty sharp.
Looking really sharp, big turns and carves. Maybe turned in one of the best combos of competition the other day, Strider.
Yeah, you know what? He was surfing really well. He looked really confident, which is what we like to see. He's been out in the water, lighthearted, smiles on his face, catching warm-up surfs, and just looks like he's having, fun, staying over the board, looking like he's got good positioning and kind of a good flow back into his surfing. He was kind of a little off. He's been hurt for so long, and for him to find some rhythm again, throwing down power carves. I talked to him in the water. He said he was just stoked to win a heat, be back in the jersey and feel that feeling again.
That's right. Jordy, not one of his pet events. He's made 1 quarter pipe in the past. As we flip the page, round 3, heat number 5. This is the heat that everybody's talking about behind the scenes. Mick Fanning, Jamie O'Brien going head-to-head. Is this the toughest draw?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. But in saying that, Mick's surfing really well. He's been in this situation before to a point where he knows exactly what he's got to do. He's done all the hard preparation. His boards look amazing. It's going to be a pretty solid pipe, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we're going to see an amazing heat.
Well, we saw Mick in form against Bruce the other day when the waves were pumping backdoor to backdoor. Mick ended up on top of that one as well, Strider.
He did, and the interesting thing about it is that he was finding the right waves, and that's the key to Pipeline. Being in the right spot at the right time, there's a rhythm, and he seems to be in it. We see him out in the water, all the time. But this kid is a freak. Jamie O can do just about no harm out there. He's an animal. He's going to find a wave no matter what.
Also, Jamie making better decisions with wave selection. Wanted to grind through heats to get through to the main event. Got second in the Invitational. This one's huge. Felipe Toledo and Mason Ho, round 3, heat number 7. A little bit of a rematch from what went down in Portugal, where Mason was struggling to find a good one, but now he's in his backyard pots.
Now he's in his backyard. He's feeling comfortable. I mean, he's riding a longer board, which his dad told him to do, especially out here at Pipeline. You get into that wave easier. 7-6 Strider. I mean, it's looking good. Mason's going to be on the bombs. Felipe Toledo, though, to me, I thought his last heat that he had, he looked a lot more comfortable out here at Pipeline than he ever has. Obviously, that world title is going to be a little bit more pressure, but Mason Ho is going to be on the good ones. You can guarantee that.
Incredible performances from Mason Ho this last season at Pipe. He's got kind of a throwback style, but absolutely charges. And he's not afraid to upset the world title race.
Not at all.
He's not. He's going to go out there and just enjoy himself too. He doesn't have the pressures on his shoulder. He just wants to make sure he puts on a good show. He loves it. He just has so much energy, and you can see it in the water when he's surfing.
Having a spoiler opportunity is Adam Melling, and he had a dreamy wave at backdoor the other day as he has Julian Wilson. Julian, the defending pipe master. Adam definitely has his hands full here.
He does, but you know what? At the end of the day, Adam's surfing well. He had an unbelievable backdoor wave here last year that took down some big names, but look at this wave here from Adam Melling. I mean, he found this one inside of everyone's priority. And that's the thing with backdoor. There's those sneaky ones. Adam's in good form. Julian's coming in with a little bit of pressure, but he said in the post-heat interviews that he's got that similar feeling to last year where he was looking to qualify. This year he's looking for a world title.
When you think Adam Melling, you look at strengths and improving over the last couple of years. Strider, you definitely have to think his tube riding has definitely bumped up a few notches. as we flip the page here in round 3, heat number 12. De Souza and Glenn Micro Hall. Strider, we know Micro has taken down huge names as we reflect back to his heat with Medina at Snapper. Yep. Can he do it here at Pipeline?
Micro's going to be biting this kid's knees right here. He's an animal. He's going to be all over him in the water. De Souza's going to have to try and not play his game. De Souza loves to get right up against his competitors. Well, Glenn Hall does too. He's going to be right in it, and he'll go blow for him. And it's just going to be one of those things where if it's backdoor or Pipeline, we're going to see it split off, and hopefully, you know, these guys get to battle it out at Pipeline.
So many exciting spoiler opportunities, but sometimes you just kind of analyze the draw in itself and kind of say which is harder, the top half or the bottom half.
Yep.
The top half looks really scary. Fanning's got Jamie O'Brien. Then if he gets through that, he's meeting up with guys like Kelly potentially, Jamie O'Brien. It's really top-heavy, Potts.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, Kelly and Perez, that's a great heat, but the top half is amazing. I mean, to win this event, you're going to have to beat the best anyway, so, you know, there's no dodging those gnarly heats, and I think it's right from the get-go with Medina and Jordy Smith. It's going to be a cracker of a day. I can't wait to see it all unfold.
Adding John Florence to that list on that top half. How did that happen, Strider?
You know what? It really is the heavy side. But like Potts just said, you have to be the best in the world to take this world title down. You're going to have to beat everybody no matter what. And that's pretty much what these guys are up against. They have to win this contest. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. The bottom half, you know, it looks like fun for those guys. De Souza down there, it's going to be interesting to see his run through, but I cannot wait. This is going to be such a good show.
A lot of great stories for our world title contenders. As we know, we lost one of our contenders as he had to withdraw. Owen Wright suffered that concussion. We'll give you an update on his condition and an incredible year that he had in 2015. Big good morning to everybody out there watching Dawn Patrol here at the Billabong Pipe Masters, as we were just talking about all of our world title contenders and their huge matchups with wild cards. Well, world number 5, Owen Wright, the other day was out there free surfing on some solid pipeline swell, got caught inside and suffered a concussion, which took him out of the contest. It was a heartbreaking moment for Owen because he had such an incredible year. Well, the WSL had just caught up with Owen before that terrible wipeout.
Fiji, for me, that was a very special moment, and one of those things that's kind of hard to describe. It just happened.
Owen now looks perfect positioning. The wave already spins. He steps on the gas. As he beats multiple sections, he'll make another wave. It's got to be a 10. It's a perfect final for Owen Wright. The Australian makes history.
That would definitely be the first moment that stands out, and another moment would probably be Portugal. I lost, but it was in tiny waves. I literally haven't surfed waves that size all year. I made every air that I went for in the heat, and it was tiny waves. Like it kind of spurred me on to like try more airs and like really get into it for next year. So that was like 2 different moments that on complete different sides of the realm, but both of them stood out to me. For me, this year's been really different. I had other goals in my life that I was concentrating on. So just more finding like my place on tour and just being happy and enjoying it. And I set out to do a lot more travel this year in between events. And then the results came along too. And I wasn't actually doing that much preparation for the competitions. I was more like just living and getting good waves and just having a great time. I usually do a lot of training and a lot of coaching and all that stuff, and yeah, I just stopped it all. I wanted to like just broaden my experiences, and I've done that, and I feel like I put myself in a good spot competitively and mentally, so love it.
What an incredible year for Owen Wright, number 5 in the world and having an outside shot at this world title race. Owen went to the hospital and then sent us this Instagram saying how devastated he was to be pulling out of the Pipe Masters, still in the hospital where he is still today after that severe concussion with a small brain bleed. He was actually, he dealt with about 10 waves on the head, and that's what really made him feel uncomfortable. He said, his friend said he wasn't really making sense verbally, and they knew that something was definitely wrong with Owen. He went there, and we've gotten reports from Ryan Fletcher from the Rip Curl camp and saying that he will be fine, but he just doesn't get a chance to go for that world title.
Yeah.
Potts, you know how devastating that would be for a competitor.
No, absolutely right. I mean, he's done all the hard work. He's got himself where he needs to be, you know, and coming into an event that pretty much odds-on favourite, you could say. It is unfortunate, but Owen's a tough guy. He's going to come back, and I think we'll see him in many more world title races to come.
There's a lot of key moments, Strider, when we think about his season, but one that was incredible. The Aussie leg of the tour, we went out west, surfed that slabbing wave called the box, and it was almost put as maybe being a goofy foot disadvantage. And Owen Wright ended up getting the best score of the event.
Yeah, not for Owen. His eyes roll back when the waves get heavy, and he just goes. He just goes into shark mode and just every time puts his head down and just look at his technique, his form, comes out standing up without even grabbing the rail. He's surfed so well, and it's so great. He's got so much talent when the waves get, you know, in the consequence zone, and just watching him, it's just, he had the best year. Watching him surf this year was so fun, and to see the energy that's coming out of that guy, and to know that it's just out of pure surfing too. You know, he talked about it just now in that last piece where he's just been surfing, going on surf trips, staying in that rhythm, and just letting his surfing being his training. I love it.
Well, he's been so reliable in waves of consequence. From the box, and we saw him make history. 2 heats with perfect 10s, including the final Potts.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, a feat that's never been done before. It's the first time I've ever seen it. We've seen a couple of perfect heats, but not 2 in one event, and especially to do it in the finals as well. I mean, he had all, you know, I mean, it was just on tap. I mean, look at the waves he was getting. He was just finding the bombs, and he was surfing them too. You know, there's a difference between actually getting those waves and then doing what he had to do. I mean, he did it every different way, standing tall, driving through these ones. I mean, this is a tricky wave to ride, and Owen Wright just absolutely blew up that day.
It looks so easy. There's some feelings at contests, maybe the best surfer has a bad heat in the quarters and loses out. Owen was undeniable, the undisputed champ of the Fiji Pro.
Yep.
No one could have made some of these tubes on the inside. He was the man to beat.
Well, finding his, like at the end there at Shish Kebabs out there, it's so hard to actually find the exit, and he was doing it with ease.
As we see multiple 10s have the crazy heat with Melling earlier, he's setting the bar for Goofy Foots and all surfers as we switch to Tahiti. A little bit different venue from Cloud Break. He's won the AI award here in the past and turned in a semifinal result this season.
Yeah, good result there. I thought he was going to go all the way, but you know, sometimes you lose that rhythm. But look at this. I mean, Owen Wright, he's not just good in the barrel. He's got the moves. You know, he's becoming more of a complete surfer. He's getting strong and powerful turns on waves of consequence. And because he's so tall, those big waves, I mean, he just plays with those waves. The only other guy, Strider, you probably agree with me, Ronnie Burns used to do that out here.
Yeah, that's
very
definitely
similar
a name
approach.
that the way those 2 guys surf, they just long arm into them, and they have, you know, it's confidence too, though.
Yep,
you know,
yep.
That's what Ronnie had. That's what Owen has. He's just got that mindset that you need to deal with these kind of waves.
And also looking at that highlight reel from those solid left-hand performances, we're really starting to miss Owen Wright's presence once again here at the Bonsai Pipeline. It's not an event he's won in the past, but his free surfs this winter have been incredible. He's been out here since he's about 15 years of age.
Yep.
With this kind of world title caliber form, he could have taken this thing out.
Easy. I mean, the day that he had, you know, got caught inside, he was definitely one of the standouts, catching waves that were, everyone sort of was letting go, swinging underneath it, pulling straight in, driving through the barrel. You know, it's just unfortunate what happened.
Well, on everyone's behalf of the WSL, we wish Owen Wright a speedy recovery, and you can send him your messages at @OWright on his Instagram to wish him well. He said he will be fine, but things do take time to recover. Coming up next on Dawn Patrol, we'll talk about the guys on tour that need massive results to stay on the top 34. Good morning. You are watching Dawn Patrol here at the Billabong Pipe Masters in memory of Andy Irons, as we're going to talk about the qualification story. But during the break, we actually just got a message from Ryan Fletcher, the pit boss at Rip Curl, and said Owen Wright is recovering faster than they expected, and he's going to be able to leave the hospital very soon. So great message there that we're excited to celebrate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And thinking about this back end of the draw, Pot Strider, this is the scary time of the year. Yeah, a couple of days ago, we were thinking about those matchups in round 2 for Brett Simpson. He's off tour. Dusty Payne's off tour. Ricardo Christie. We had to say goodbye to some of the legends.
Yep.
Now we're focusing on Jadson Andre. Will he be able to stay on the top 34 next season?
Well, he had a tough heat the other day, that's for sure. But, you know, now it's in the hands of his opponents. You know, you look further down the list, he's number 20 right there, which is right on the cut line, Strider. It's not where you want to be. and right behind him, guys that are still in the event. Keanu Singh, Michel Perez, Sebastian Zietz, even all the way down to Adam Melling, who could upset the apple cart. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's got to go down. There's some crazy heats coming up. All these guys have got tough heats.
Well, the scary part about Jadson was he was against Sebastian, who needs a big result. So he had a lot of fire as well, and Sebastian's been proven here in the past. But it's not just one guy gunning for his spot. There's a handful of stories there, Strider, that could send Jadson to the QS.
It's tough when when you got guys in there trying to take it out. Keanu, Perez. Perez does not want to take a injury wild card, even though he was injured for so long. He wants to do it on his own 2 feet, and he's looking really good. He could any of these guys could take this out. The bottom end is so tough, and to just be thinking about being jumped off tour, right? Just think about that. All the hard work you put in, all those years on the QS, and then you're here on the main stage, and all of a sudden you're battling for your spot. There's so many emotions must be going through with these guys.
Yep.
That's why with this final stop, every heat is so important. There's a story for each one of them. I think that's why Keanu Singh spent so much time in that post-heat interview when he took out Kolohe. That was such an important heat win for him. Sebastian has a long way to go, and we'll keep you posted on all those scenarios. As we remind you, we still have an amazing world title race showdown underway. 5 contenders, and you can check out at worldsurfleague.com/world title to get up to date on all those scenarios and possibilities. Potts, it kind of feels like pressure on Mick Fanning now in a must-win situation at this stage.
I think the pressure's on all of them, Joe. I think it's gonna come down to the wire, that's for sure.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to have a blast here at the Bonsai Pipeline, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow at 7:30 for Dawn Patrol.